Of all the magic places in the world I've been to, this is where my heart is. Oh, you know it's true. No matter where I go, I'm coming home to you. Been walking down the street so many times, my feet know every brick and stone. Could wear a blindfold. No matter what I do, I'm coming home to you.
Hey guys, welcome back. It's been about 8 months since I've put out a video that wasn't a podcast episode, and 11 months since I've given an update on our homestead. So let's do an Unaesthetic garden tour today. And as you can guess, we are starting off with pumpkins. So we planted about 50 pumpkins of like the bigger varieties. We planted Connecticut field pumpkins and jack-o'-lantern pumpkins. And so these are the pumpkins that we had planted. They're sprouting. They've got flowers growing. Hopefully we can get some fruit growing. That would be amazing. And they're just beautiful, lush, and green. We've had a little bit of trouble with some powdery mildew, but overall they have been doing great. We have a little over 40 of our plants left, so I'm hoping majority of them can make it to October. Now, we did plant some smaller varieties of pumpkins as well, about 50 of those as well. However, they have not sprouted yet. We planted them in a different area along a trench, basically around the edge of our garden. And so we have not seen any growth from those yet. They're newly planted, but hopefully we will see that very, very soon. And the varieties that we newly planted are supposed to be ready before our first frost date. But overall right now they're all doing good, the ones that have sprouted and that are still alive. And this is what our little pumpkin patch looks like right now. Yes, there's a lot of grass and a lot of weeds. We did not weed. We didn't have time. We had to get things in the ground, but it's looking good. Another thing that we planted in our garden this year was zucchini. I am so obsessed with the zucchini. It's almost actually as tall as I am, this plant is. And it actually has a pollinated zucchini on it. We have quite a few more coming in. We have 5 zucchini plants total. And I think 3 of them are producing fruit. They have not actually been able to be harvested yet, but they're so close. Now, one thing we did not do this year was really like till everything. We're going to till everything up next year, but this year we kind of just had to get things in the ground. We were in a hurry. We were in a rush. We were running late for the season, and honestly, we got things in the ground entirely too late to have the type of garden I wanted to have this year. But next year we have doubled the space, and so we will have it all tilled and set it all up. These are our cucumbers. We did a bushing variety so that I did not have to have a trellis, and they are doing so good. We actually have some fruit that's growing, and I'm just so excited. There's so many flowers, so many fruit on the vines. And even though it is so late in the summer, I'm still hoping that we can get a really good harvest. Anything that we don't use, we can pickle, but we love cucumbers. We love stuff like that, and so I'm very excited. As you can see, there's rabbit poop on our cucumbers. That's what we use in our garden to fertilize everything. We have quite a few rabbits, and we use their manure to fertilize our entire garden. So we also have these peas planted along the back line of where the garden was supposed to end. Like I said, lots of weeds. We did not get everything tilled, you guys, but we did get these peas planted, and I'm so excited because they're finally getting flowers. It's taking forever, I feel like, but I'm also very impatient, and I just love peas straight off the vine. Now, my husband and my son love them for dinner. They love them cooked, but I personally cannot do cooked peas. So I know you've heard it from every single farmer, gardener, and every person that's ever even looked at a pea, but peas put nitrogen back into your soil, and nitrogen is actually very important for photosynthesis and for your plants to build a good structure. So it's very important to replenish that, and you can just plant peas as needed. They're really a cool weather crop, but we have them out here in the heat and they're doing okay. They're also mostly in the shade, so I'm pretty sure that's helping. Also, our weather is wacky. Next up on the tour is squash. We have 5 squash plants, and as you can see, that is a squash bug. He is bothering the heck out of this plant. I have killed more eggs on this plant than any other plant because it's the only one that is actually getting any squash bug eggs. I'm not sure why. I don't care why. I just want them to stop. So when I went over there, there was 2 on there. I got rid of the squash bugs, and I started checking under there for some leaves while I was doing my little tour, or under there for squash bug eggs. That's actually what I was looking for. And I found them, unfortunately, which I knew I would because, again, they were already there. There's 2 of them. And so, yeah, I went ahead and handled those squash bug eggs, and then I admired my little squash. I have 5 plants. I'm not sure if I actually said that. And this is the only one so far that's really producing any fruit. A fun little fact, though, is that all of the parts of the squash, pumpkin, and the zucchini plants are edible, even the leaves. You could even eat the stem if you wanted, but it's probably not going to be that great. Okra was one of the things that I've never tried to grow before, and I was very excited to try and get it in the ground. Again, everything was running late this year, so we have 5 healthy okra plants. However, we did plant like 40-something plants recently, so we're going to see if they sprout and if they grow and if they harvest before frost. They should. They're supposed to, but life never seems to work out the way it's supposed to. But these are our current okra plants, and actually these 2 are growing out of the same hole even though they were planted in different holes. Very weird. As you can see, they're growing new leaves, and hopefully soon they'll get some flowers, because the flowers is actually where the okra comes from. Once the flowers grow, the okra can grow from the flowers. Welcome to the herb tires. These were supposed to be our tires full of different herbs, but really each tire just has 1 plant in it, and this tire doesn't even have a full plant in it. This is pineapple mint. It smells amazing. It does have a very citrusy smell. It's amazingly, like, just heavenly. Oh. And then this is, of course, 1 little plant of rosemary. Everything didn't get planted this year, so it is what it is. We did our best. Now we're at our tomatoes. This has been a horrible year for tomatoes. So horrible. We've had an amazing amount of rain, like more rain than I could have ever imagined. And so we have had quite a few times where I've had to clip leaves and stems. They're coming along, they're trying their best, but they're just not getting the job done. We do have a couple tomatoes, though, that are trying to come in. And our cherry tomatoes down here, I thought they died, but they seem to be growing new growth after I broke the stem off partially. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. It looks like we're getting 2, but who knows if we'll get any more this season. And this was just a cool little moment I got on film. Some little bees, and I don't know what that is. Maybe a fly or something. I don't know what it is. But regardless, they were in the garden, and they were just so happy, and they were checking everything out. And here is our 1 tomato so far that is getting big. And as you can see, we've got some other flowers. We'll see if they actually produce. These are our bell peppers. We grew 2 types of bell peppers, and I can't tell you what these are. So we started carnival mix ones and just like some sweet bell peppers, and then a bunch of them died because of the weather, and then we ended up with these 6. So now they're finally starting to produce flowers. Hopefully we can get some bell peppers on there and be able to get a little bit of a harvest before it gets cold, because this has been a very long process with the peppers. But as you could see earlier on one of those peppers, there was a little brown ball. That is the rabbit manure that we use for our garden. Now, normally you would want it closer to like the ground, and I did have to knock it off of there, but I was just sprinkling it the other day, and assumingly it just landed there. But overall, rabbit manure is one of the few animal manures that will not burn your plants. You can put it directly on your plants, and it's safe for your plants, for their roots, for their leaves. There's no burn, there's no residue, there's no bad consequence. You don't need to let it decompose. You don't need to let it, do any of that. Now this is where I was telling you we put some more pumpkin seeds down and we put some beans down, and it's just the trench along the edge of the garden. Like I said, next year all of this is going to look different, so it doesn't really matter at this moment. These are some beans that we're growing. I don't remember what varieties these are because there's two different ones mixed together, but some beans. And then this is our corn blocks. We have 2 blocks of corn growing, and I'm really hoping they will survive the deer and the rabbits, but so far so good. We are getting a little bit of chompers, but nothing too serious yet. And it's amazing to watch it grow. These are weeds I pulled out of the middle of the corn blocks. If that tells you how behind I am on the weeds, as if you couldn't tell already. And then, as you can tell, there are some really big stalks. I have 2 that are just really big and really lush, and they're just my favorite to look at. They're taller than the others, and I'm just so excited to watch them continue to get big. However, that does conclude our garden tour, so I will see you guys next time.
No matter where I go, I'm coming home to you.